Frank Aikins is a pastor in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Originally from Ghana, I met him probably 14 years ago. I was speaking at a men's conference and was invited to his church, so that's how we originally got acquainted. At the time that I met Frank, he probably had already started about 25 churches. Young man, young family, tremendous potential, and it was sort of in a transition time. So at that pivotal time in his life is sort of when I showed up. I felt very committed to Frank. He felt very committed to me as a spiritual son. And I began to invite him over to the States to attend our events, and I began to attend his events in Nigeria.
From when I visited Dad and Mom in Ohio, that personal touch, that personal relationship, and the affirmation and encouragement began to develop the courage to step out. And I thought I was doing ministry before then, but afterwards, I began to see ministry and experience ministry in a new dimension.
As things progressed, we began to watch the tremendous influence that Frank had, because virtually he started again at ground zero. During that transition time, during that leadership change time, he needed to move into a healthier relationship with a spiritual oversight, and he made that transfer to us in the Kingdom Global. But there was a natural progression. He just builds. I mean, that's what he does. So consequently, nations began to open up, especially West African nations, and leaders that he has influenced, either opening churches or expanding their churches in the ministry. Then throughout the Port Harcourt area, that is his home base, everything began to progress from that point. Till a couple of years ago, I did something I've never done, and that is to openly endorse somebody that I believed fit the biblical model of apostolic ministry. And since that time, it has really just exploded.
Right from when we started the ministry in 2003, the vision of Kingdom Global, the vision of making whatever God was doing with us be with a global vision, a global thought, made us to desire to acquire a property that we could develop to accommodate more than the congregation I pastored at the moment. And so 2004, I beg your pardon, we acquired a piece of property that was water, it was swamp. I mean, you could go in the water and it could get to your chest, and yet we paid for it. And so 2007, January 2007, we moved into a portion of it, and that Titus was here to open that place officially, and that became our primary place of worship. But somehow, even though that place could accommodate us for the time being, we still believe that by way of the expansion, the increase we're seeing, not just our congregation, but different pastors that we were also overseeing, and from time to time, the need for them to bring their congregations for moments and time of teaching and encouragement and training. Mom and Dad came and stood on the foundation and blessed it. And from the time they stood on that, just the plain ground, and blessed it, we've not stopped, and we kept on building. And 2015, even though it is not completely finished, we moved in there to hold the KGM African Summit. That is the first program that was held in that facility. God is using Dad and Mom Titus and people from KGM to be a tremendous support to this work, prayerfully, financially, and even the words of affirmation that we get, the words of encouragement.
A couple years ago, nearly 2 years ago, Debbie and I felt the Lord telling us not to do anything that could not be reproduced in others. And we've always been relational in our ministries. Every single thing we do is relational. We want to invest in people. We want to invest in their ministries. So this becomes an example of what we would like to see globally, is that we can invest in people, and they in turn can invest in people, and we can see the kingdom of God grow through discipleship, grow through relationships, into reproduction, until it now goes from generation to generation. And we can enjoy the fruit of our labors because it is now being replicated in somebody else. So this is the bottom line of every single thing we do. We want to invest in others so that they can invest in others, and we can see the kingdom of God established in the earth. This is the heart of Kingdom Global, and this is why we do what we do.